We're on the public record right now. We're in the process of coming out of executive session. Commissioner Gray, we're about ready to, is there any discussion, Commissioner Gray, or anybody about the motion to come out of executive session? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Commissioner Gray.
Aye.
We are now out of executive session, and in executive session, we discussed, Mr. O'Brien,
So,
why we were in executive session.
thank you, Chair Winslow. Right, so just to ensure compliance with the open meetings law, I wanted to put on the record the exact sections that were relied upon to move into executive session. And if any of the parties disagree with my recitation, then perhaps they can be heard. But my understanding is that the commission decided to go into executive session under Title 29, Section 1004, Section 6, which is the discussion of the content of documents excluded from the definition of public record in Section 10,002 of this title, where such discussion may disclose the contents of such documents. And the section that forms the exclusion referenced in Section 10,002 would be 10,002 10,002 that exempts from the definition of public record commercial or financial information obtained from a person which is of a privileged or confidential nature. And my understanding is that's the reasoning behind the designation itself, although we haven't made it, or the commission hasn't made a separate determination regarding that designation. But that's the section that formed the basis of the executive session.
Would you recommend that I recite for the record what we did at the tail end of the executive session, or just repeat that part publicly?
I think that we would put a motion on the record in public regarding granting or denying the public advocate's motion. And my understanding is that you are taking the entire motion, including the timing set forth in the motion.
Commissioner Gray, would you repeat your motion, please?
Yes, just a second, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Based on the discussions in executive session put forward by the People's Advocate, I propose and move that the Commission adopt order number 10069 as presented, which grants the DPA's petition, including the dates accordingly.
There was a second? I second it. Commissioner Correa seconds it. Is there any discussion with respect to the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Commissioner Gray.
Aye.
The motion carries. Thanks very much to everyone for first in a long time look at this issue, and best wishes to the parties in resolving the issue efficiently.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Hearing scheduled today is, there are no hearings today. Is there anyone in the public that wishes to make public comment? Mr. Hardigan.
Thank you, Chairman Winslow. At this time, I'd like to invite Samantha Hemphill forward to update the Commission on happenings with from the recent legislative session. Sam?
Happenings?
Good afternoon, Chairman and Commissioners.
Happenings, Samantha?
Happenings.
Oh, okay.
We had some happenings. Another happening. And another happening. I did this on purpose.
I think that was appropriate music.
For the happenings. After the first year back in person since the pandemic, the legislature wrapped up the 151st General Assembly in the early morning hours of July 1st. PSC staff tracked 3 bills this year, 2 of which passed and are awaiting Governor Carney's signature. Senate Bill 298 passed the House on June 29th and relates to net metering. The bill contains various updates to the net metering code, which impacts payouts to residential customers and businesses who have solar panels, and an increase to the total allowed capacity of solar installations system-wide. Once the bill is signed by Governor Carney, the PSC will update our net metering regulations to comply with the law. Senate Bill 310 was also approved in the House, but on June 30th, and relates to the Governor's Energy Advisory Council, or the GEAC. This bill updates the membership and responsibilities of the Governor's Advisory Council. Senate Bill 305, which was more commonly known as the Delaware Climate Action Plan, failed to receive the required number of votes to be released from the House Natural Resources Committee. However, this initiative will likely be reintroduced with minor changes at the beginning of the 152nd General Assembly. Another bill staff wasn't tracking, but we thought was worth mentioning, is House Substitute 1 to House Bill 293, which creates a requirement that open public meetings include time for public comment. While this is something the PSC has long been doing, it has now become law, or it will once it receives the Governor's signature. Thank you for the opportunity to present this update. I'm happy to try and answer any questions, but I may have to phone a friend, depending on how technical.
How does the net metering
You are
bill
approaching the maximum length for a recording.
affect an individual solar panel owner?
I'm going to phone a friend, because I don't want to misquote. I did just talk to this about Bill, but this is a bit above my level of understanding, and Pam is a technical expert. And I warned her this morning that I was going to call on her.
Yes, I'm happy to try and answer some of these questions. For a residential homeowner, the annualized billing period, typically there is either a credit issued or a payout issued. That annualized billing period, the excess credits will no longer be paid to the owner of the excess credits. They will defer to the utility. So that's going to be a savings, and it's pretty comparable because the whole philosophy of net energy metering was 110% was to offset consumption. So that means that over an annualized billing period, there shouldn't be an excess in credits. The other thing is the evaluation of excess credits month to month will not include the societal benefits, so the solar customers will now be paying for the societal benefits, which are the RPS, Bloom, energy efficiency, low income, and the Green Energy Fund. So those are the major changes of this bill that would impact residential homeowners.
And does this affect DEC and other municipalities?
Yes, it does. In fact, many of these changes were brought on or initiated by DMAC.
Thank you very much. Anybody else have questions? Ms. Hemphill, thank you very much. I appreciate your letting us know what's going on in the world, and what's happening in the world, rather.
Of course, my pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chairman Winslow. Our next meeting will be July 27th, where we'll have a hearing on the 22 program for the procurement of solar renewable energy credits. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners, anything else?